Hi guys, so today's intro will be brought to you by that one time I went to Wynwood Walls in Miami with a couple of my friends. Hey guys, welcome back. This is a start of a new semester and I'm going to go over some of the classes, or all of the classes I'm taking right now. This will be my second to last semester being in the classroom, so I'm very excited for that. But at the same time, I know it's going to be tougher than the last semester. First class I'm taking is MS3, Musculoskeletal 3, the last one of the MS series. So MS3 focuses mainly on the spine, and I'm gonna preface my discussion with a little bit of a visual aid that I drew. Wow, I'm starting to sound like my professor. These are the pictures that I drew to help with my explanations further on throughout the video. Right now we're talking about the lumbar spine and its associated disorders. So once again, it's just gonna be a brief overview. I'm not gonna go too much in depth. Let's start off with the discogenic and foraminal stenosis. So discogenic pathology involves the disc between each vertebrae. Okay, so this is a picture of the spine, and the blue circles, ovals, will be the disc, and between the disc we'll have two vertebrae. These are all vertebrae. So people with discogenic pathology, they tend to feel better when they stand up straight or extend their spine, and they tend to feel worse. Their symptoms increase when they bend forward or flex. And that's because when they flex, the vertebrae compresses in the front, so the disc gets pushed back posteriorly into these foramen. And important things like nerves run through the foramen, so when it pinches the nerves, that's when you get numbness tingling down the legs and following like a radicular pattern. And they feel better when they extend. The disc is pushed forward, back in place. And now for foraminal stenosis, it's the opposite. When they flex, they tend to feel better because when they flex, the foramen opens. And when they extend, the foramen closes, narrows, which may pinch the nerve, causing the same radicular pattern. And depends on which level you're compressed, that determines the radicular pattern you're experiencing. Now let's move on to spondylolysis and spondylolisthesis. The difference is that spondylolysis is pars defect, pars fracture. And this is a picture of the vertebrae, anterior, posterior, axial view. So the pars interarticularis is outlined in the red right here, and when that fractures, that's your spondylolysis. And as for spondylolisthesis, that's when the vertebrae slips. That's when the vertebrae slips forward, and both of these can happen independently, or the spondylolysis, the fracture, could cause the forward slippage. And then there's also lumbar instability when there's too much movement in the lumbar spine, which can definitely cause problems, and facet joint dysfunction. The facet joint is pointed by the green arrows. And I just hope these pictures are kind of helpful because I did spend a good 30 seconds on them. Now let's move on to neuromuscular 1, which is the first part of the two-part series. We've been going over motor sensory testing. Again, it's like a review, cranial nerves real quick, and learning some new tests of functional mobility. So some examples of the tests for mobility measures include, I'm reading off the screen right now because we just started class and there's no way I know any of this. Mobility measures include 5 times sit to stand test, timed up and go, expanded timed up and go, functional independence measure, FIM, modified physical performance test, MPPT. And for gait measures, there's gait speed, 6-minute walk test, functional ambulation categories, functional walking categories, modified Emery functional ambulation profile, MFAP, GARS. Well, as the class goes on, and maybe I'll explain a little bit more the importance of each of the tests, or maybe not, it could be boring. The next class is medical diagnosis, differential diagnosis, aka systems management 3. And I think the purpose of this class is to teach us to really look at systems as a whole, and not just focus like on the musculoskeletal system, in case the patient's diagnosis could be something more systemic, something much more serious. a cancer or something instead of just a low back pain. I don't know what to expect for that class yet, but so far we've practiced writing a letter to physician voicing our concern about a practice patient and how their symptoms may be something more serious. We're also taking a class on gender-specific issues in physical therapy. I think we're going to talk about women's health, men's health, and other issues like that. And we also have Clinical Practicum 3, which is not really a class, but that's when we're assigned specific dates to go to the clinic, outpatient clinic at school, or to the hospital, do our usuals. That will be it for the introduction to the new semester. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.